The book of 1 Samuel opens at a spiritual low point in the nation of Israel. The judges were still ruling over Israel, and the people had continued to fall prey to idolatry. Even some of the priests had been corrupted by heinous sin. The failure of Israel's leaders, accentuated by the people's moral perversion, they showed open disdain for God and His Word. In the face of such rebellion, however, God protected a remnant of faithful Israelites who loved God and kept His Word. The moral chaos prompted infighting among the people of God and rebellion against the rule of the judges. The nation longed for a king to lead them, a desire they developed through watching the surrounding nations. They were under constant threat and harassment by neighboring powers, and they wanted a king to unify them so that they could protect themselves. Despite Samuel's warnings, the people persisted in their request, and God granted it. He called a man who seemed to possess all the marks of a king. He was handsome, tall, and early on in his reign showed signs of strong military prowess. The people appointed Saul by lot, and he led God's people for 40 years. His ultimately fatal flaw was his repeated disregard for God's commands late in his reign. His rebellion incurred God's judgment. God rejected him as king and allowed him to suffer the consequence of his folly. God prompted Samuel to anoint David as king over Israel while Saul was still in power. As young David's reputation for following God's direction with courage and conviction grew, Saul even brought him on as a leader in the Israelite military. David's fame grew, and Saul quickly lost heart, became jealous of David's victories, and eventually tried to kill David. In the wake of Saul's failure to obey him, God raised up King David, who obeyed God's commands and led Israel in a way Saul never could. The united monarchy in Israel demonstrated how God led his people through human agents. These leaders were entrusted with the task of speaking God's word and modeling God's character to lead the people of Israel to obey him in all things. Sin effectively hamstrung these men in their attempt to provide the type of leadership God desired, exposing the fact that no human leader can provide perfect leadership for his people. Only the true King, Jesus Christ, can provide the kind of leadership that faithfully represents God and His will for humanity. There is none holy like the Lord, for there is none beside you. There is no rock like our God. 1 Samuel 2:2.